One. In this video, I will review the Iron Arnie, which is a new Tier 8 American Premium Medium tank. So basically, the Iron Arnie is the same as the M47 improved pattern. These tanks are the same, but this has a 3D style. It's like the IS-3A and the Peregrine, or the Object 252U and the Defender. So it's the same thing, but in with a 3D style. So first, let's go and take a look around of this tank. The tank looks really good and beautiful with the spaced shield armor protection on the turret and on the side. It looks really good, and the tank, but the tank is not as good as you might think, and I will talk about this in a minute. So first, let's review the crew of this tank. We have here 4 crew members with the commander, gunner, driver, and loader. Let's talk about now the stats of this gun. First, we have here a 105mm caliber gun with 320 alpha damage and 420 on HE. As the penetration goes, we have here AP 230mm penetration value, heat 350 HE, as you can see. So the DPM of this tank is 1700, which is low, especially for any tank, but for a medium tank, this is low DPM. This means we have here a 320 alpha damage, which can hide up to 400 for a 10.8 seconds or 320 alpha damage. So that's why it's like a really low DPM. Now the dispersion value is 0.42. This is really bad. The Russian guns has 0.42 dispersion value, which is it's just outrageous how bad the inaccurate this gun is. The aim time is 2.8 seconds. Now again, 2.8 seconds is again a huge aim time. Even 2-second aim time feels long in a close combat situation, or if you have to aim for a far distance. But this means this tank is for close combat. With this dispersion values, this tank meant for close combat, not even for medium range combat, because you will miss for 250 meter plus. This is bad. So the gun traverse speed 31 degree per sec. It's not as fast for a medium tank, as if the Defender has 27, this has 31. So I assume because of the shield, extra space, shield protection, the turret is heavy. That's why can't rotate his turret fast like a normal medium tank. So yeah, the HP of this tank is 1.3k, which is good. Now the armor. The armor is special on this tank because it has really good hull and turret armor, but I will check at the end of this video. But I can tell you that this turret armor has some big weak spots, which makes this tank unplayable. If the enemy player knows your weak spots here, and here, you are just dead. So really interesting tank for the first look. Now the speed. This tank weighs in 47 tons with 800 horsepower. This means we have here a 40 km per hour forward speed and the reverse speed is 15. Again, the speed is not as good 40 km per hour medium tank. I mean, even some tier 8 heavy tanks has 40 km per hour forward speed and even faster. Now the whole reverse speed is 33. Considering the Defender has 31, this means turns his turret faster than a Defender, but this again these are not medium stats. These are really interesting stats, but definitely not for not a quick medium tank. Concealment is good, 256 base camo and 390 meters view range. The view range is good again. Signal range is perfect, 745. Let's go now and configure this tank. So here, the field modification, this at max level, we have this modification, but these modifications are not good. This for again, this will make the gun even worse, 0.40 dispersion value, which is just outrageous. It's unbelievably bad. And this again, there is no good. Maybe this is a good field mod for let's see. But it will take minus 2 km per hour from the reverse speed, that's not good. Already the reverse speed is 15, with this is 13, so no. There is basically no good field mods for this tank. Or maybe this is the reverse speed, but it will take take from the concealment -59, which is a significant amount of camo. So, but you will have faster reverse. Maybe this can be considered as good field mod, but I mean, why to sacrifice the camo? So, this is max level. Here, let's select all the good crew skills what we can have here. Here, the camo paint on. Let's select the extra food. And here, let's talk about first the ammunition. We have here the AP with 230 millimeters base penetration, which is actually high for an AP shell, and actually is fast, 1080 meters per sec shell speed, which is good. The heat with 300 millimeters of base penetration value, which is amazing, and actually fast, 1073 meters per sec shell speed for heat is fast, considering this is a heat shell. It's almost as good as an APCR, 1150 meters per sec. And it's not expensive, as you can see, 4800, but deals only 320 alpha damage. So, yeah, that's the downside of this tank. And the HE is with 53 millimeters penetration value and 525 on high roll. And it's really cheap, only 6,680 credits. And the speed is 945 meters per second speed. It's actually good. Definitely, these are good ammo types. So here, the first slot is mobility slot. We can select here the ventilation or the turbo. But considering how bad the DPM and the gun is on this tank, here the second slot is scouting or survivability. So you can go with scouting, camo, or view range, or survivability. So in the survivability mode, you can have these, but in any case, you will not have bonus for the gun rammer in any case. That's why I suggest here to have first the bounty. First a bounty rammer definitely is needed, or bounty or purple. It's up to you. Let's select here. We have the bounty rammer here. Second, so here in the first, the turbo could be good to use a turbo because 40 km per hour speed is good, but the tank is bad in any way. So the ventilation is needed to boost this DPM, bad gun and inaccurate gun and bad aim time. So therefore here I will go with the ventilation, and here again, let's see, in this slot there is no slot for a stabilizer. That's why again we have to go with the stabilizer. That's it. This is can be a good configuration, or here to use a turbo to boost the speed of this tank, but you will lose a lot of good things because this tank is bad. The base stats of this tank is bad. With turbo, you will go with 45 km per hour for speed, which is acceptable, but still not as good as 50 plus. So let's go here with the ventilation again, and let's check now the stat of this tank. So DPM 2.2k with this, it's okay for a medium tank. I mean, in this case, we have 8.6 seconds for 320 alpha damage. It's acceptable. The actually 0.39 is still bad, outrageously bad for a medium tank. This is really, really bad. Aim time again still bad, 2.6. It is really, really bad. The camo now is 449. I mean, it's like the Scorpion G has this camo, and we all know that is not good camo. So yeah, but it's an entry level camo. I mean, it's okay. Let's say it's okay. If you're in 451, it's actually good. So let's go now and check the armor of this tank. So this tank has really, really good armor, but with some weak spots. So if you face a tank frontally like this, he will have lower plate 238, 240, upper plate 256, 260, 70 even here. But with some weak spots here. Let's go closer. Here we have under the neck, we have a weak spot 220 millimeter here. But the gun method is actually good. As you can see, it's unpenetrable with 500. Let's see like this, 563. There's basically no weak spot on the gun mantlet of this tank, but here it's not. It's basically just not a weak spot on the gun mantlet of this tank. But here we have some weak spots to the left. Here we lacking the shield. It is, but it's not really a weak spot. Yeah, 280 here, 200 here, 399, 339, 40 here, 300. 273. So the armor overall on this tank, on the turret, is actually really, really good with some weak spot, but this is not really a weak spot. I mean, here is still 400, and this is not a weak spot because of the shield. The shield gives this tank a really, really good armor. behind it. So yeah, the only weak spot on this cupola on the tank on the turret is the cupola with 135 millimeters of armor protection, but this cupola is not visible in 10 degree of gun oppression because this tank has 10 degree of gun oppression, and in this case the cupola is not visible, and this will be your point of view when this tank peeks you. It's basically an unpenetrable tank. Here again, this is a weak spot 286, 288 here at these triangles, but let's switch it to the heat. But how the armor is changing now, it's 305 because of the shield, and the heat will have hard time to penetrate through the shield. So it's still 285 millimeter plus in hold down position, 88. It's almost 290, and the gunman is unpenetrable. Basically, there is no weak spots on this turret in hold down position. So it is really, really good. Let's check now the tank in side scraping position. This tank can side scrape, but as you can see the side here, or maybe can, it looks like, but this can be bugged here, but only we have here only 170 and in the upper plate here, 130 with some weak spot, 85, and here with some weak spots, but yeah, it can be good against tier 6 tank, definitely to side scrape, but not against tier 8 plus tanks, because we have some weak spots here. So let's check down the side of this tank. In the turret here, as you can see now, you can see this is just the spaced shield on the turret, and this is the actual turret of this tank, which is really, really good. 234 here, 142 here at the back, 75 where we don't have shield. Here 76. The hull 76 here, 106, 137 actually good, 106 here, 39 below the tracks, below the side skirt, 76, and yeah. The rear side, let's run to the rear side of this tank. Here we have 50, 50, and 76, 66, 76. Other side, same configuration. 76, 74, 50, 135. Here, 200, but we have the shield, so you will not go through here. 106, here 76. So basically, the tank is really, really well armored from the side and basically from everywhere. But only weak spot is this cupola here. And here we have let's switch to actually hybrid. Let's say to, or maybe visual. Let's see here. So where we have that we exported 270 millimeter, 289, 80. On this upper side at this flat turret like this here, but it's still 280, and it's not really a weak spot. I mean, with heat you can go through, but it's still 300, 280, and it's tricky to go through. This is not really a weak spot. Here 76, but this is as you can see, zero chance to pen because this is just a part of the 3D model. It's not actually part of the tank. It's not a hitbox. So yeah, OP turret armor. So the conclusion about this tank, I think Wargaming tried to balance this tank with the good armor. They try to balance with a bad gun and low DPM, low speed. So this is the conclusion about this tank. Looks good, looks promising, but you have to use definitely turbo, because 40 is not good. But if you use turbo, you have to sacrifice ventilation, and you need ventilation because how bad the stats are of this tank. And I mean, yeah, it's a tricky tank. 10 degree one oppression is amazing, good penetration, good alpha damage, but the gun is trash. They balance the tank armor with the gun, so I don't know. Maybe this tank can be a horrible choice with this dispersion and aim time. Other than that, yeah, the turret is OP. Here is a weak spot, but this is not visible in 10 degree gun oppression. This is not an actually hitbox, so you can shoot here all day. It will not happen anything. Here we have some weak spots below the neck. Upper plate OP. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.